It is UK12 here, and I'm coming to you guys with some pretty poor news. My computer blue screened and I crashed in the middle of recording this video. I was at about an hour long of recording, and if I'm going to be honest, I got some pretty good moments in there, and I got some pretty worthwhile complaints and discussions that I wanted to bring up. I'm kind of frustrated right now because I was almost done with the video, and I was just I'm just kind of baffled by the fact that that just happened, and I'm honestly really frustrated by it because I just kind of wasted an hour of my time. But fortunately, I don't think that will happen again. I'm pretty much just going to jump to the points in the video that I disagree with, or the points where he brings up stuff that I addressed previously, and then I'm just going to come back to it. But anyways, for some context, since you're probably just wondering, why is he looking at this random tier list, or from this YouTuber's tier list, Flash. I saw his tier list video earlier today. He uploaded it 6 hours before I made this tweet. And I remember I checked out the tier list earlier on, and I saw the ordered tiers, not the actual top 10 units overall. And I kind of was like, man, I do not like this list, and I just sort of brushed it off. And then I came across this video, and then I kind of made a joking reply, I wonder how people come to these conclusions, because obviously I don't agree. I do not agree with this tier list, in any regard. I have a lot of issues with it. But, this guy is much stronger,
Bruh.
Whoa, I just had a huge brain fart. Anyways, I was just chilling. I made this tweet, and then he made this tweet calling me out. And I don't know what I was cooking here. I was wondering how he came to his conclusion, and I realized that he was trying to say, hey, watch the video, that's how. It took me a second to get that, but when I really got it was when Alpel, thank you Alpel for providing me free content, replied, watch the video then. And you know what, it kind of shook me. I was like, you know what, that's a pretty good idea. I was at the gym. I said, you know what, when I get back, I will watch the video, but I don't think it will justify his placements. And I will say, it did not justify his placements. In fact, it actually made me... he was lower than I thought he was going to be on this tier list. Like, I thought he was like maybe 11, 12, or 13. He was like 20 or something. I'll get into that later. Anyways, this stayed true, and I was like, you know what? I need to upload more YouTube videos. I need to provide more content to my lovely friends over on Twitter and YouTube. So I said, screw this. @MeNautilus called me out. I must retaliate. I'm about to make a YouTube video discussing every issue I have with the placements on your tier list, which is what this is, with statistical evidence and reasoning, as soon as I get home. And here we are. I'm home. I got home about an hour and 20 minutes ago. Unfortunately, my computer freaking crashed. It blue screened in the middle. First time ever. I have never experienced a blue screen in my entire life. I even made a joke tweeting saying, wow, this tier list was so trash that I got my first ever blue screen. And honestly, I'm still really bummed about that. But back to the point. Anyways, this happened. I decided to do this, so here I am making this YouTube video. Here is his tier list. I'm just going to show off his final top 10. As you can see, he's at number 15. And obviously, this is the Festival of Battles part. Completely agree with that. Obviously, you're never going to run this guy, just like pretty much every single one of these other units. Only unit I said I don't think it should... let me see if he addresses this right here, actually. I did not... I got to right here. And then... yeah, hour-long recording for 15 minutes. I spent a lot of time yapping like I am now. But anyways, I got to about 15 minutes here, and I yapped for probably 45 minutes. I have a lot of issues with some of the things he says and some of the points he makes, which I will be readdressing the main ones that I think are the most important, and my final thoughts on his entire tier list afterwards, because I think I already have my mind made up based upon what I've heard. What I'll do is I will jump to S tier cell right now, I'm going to go through, say anything I want to say, and then I will leave in the important parts. So from this point on, it's kind of just going to be a compilation of me saying my thoughts, just randomly thrown in there, based on certain characters. Because I'm not willing to sit here and potentially risk like 3 hour or an hour longer of recording, and it all get deleted again. So yeah, that's it. Yeah, let's go. STR hit or STR cell. STR cell.
He's like right here. I mean, with that revive dog,
This is okay. This is red zones.
pretty much gonna be moving him up. I think he's like right here.
I agree. On Hit's team, this guy can't die. He has his revive. He's pretty much just going to be doing. He's just going to be supporting and doing some decent damage the entire time, with a good link set for this guy. And then STR Cell is, if he does die, which is going to probably happen eventually, he just revives and he literally becomes the best slot 2 unit in the entire game that does not stack. And he can even slot 1 very consistently.
I mean, with that revive dog, guess what? He's sitting in slot 1 with guard plus, what is that, 65% damage reduction and guard against supers.
I will say one issue with him being in slot 1 is his defense is not high enough with a guard and 35% damage reduction start of turn to take less than 100k from the normals. So if there's a lot of attacks in slot 1, don't put this guy in slot 1. I highly recommend against putting this guy in slot 1 against a bunch of normals. But if it's just like 1 or 2 attacks, yeah, put him there, and this guy will not die. He will not die at all.
It'll help your characters more than hurt your characters in red zone, because
This is wrong. The only people it helps more is this guy, AGL Cell, and Tech Cell. Everybody else is benefiting less. I remember Phone on Twitter, he showed this to me, but just random example. Int Go Frieza will benefit less defensively than, or his defensive buffs will not outweigh that of the boss's offensive buffs. So to start off, I want to say I kind of just yapped for like 30 more seconds trying to explain it when I simply didn't understand it. But I'll throw the screenshot up right now. Pretty much the most basic explanation is the fact that if you and the boss both receive the exact same percentage, the stat itself gets buffed, right? So let's just say the boss has 30k to stats, and then you have 15k to stats. They have 30,000 attack, and you have 15,000 defense. You'll take 15,000 damage. But if both stats are multiplied by 10, then it goes to 300,000 damage, and then 150 damage or 150,000 defense. So instead of it being 15,000 now, it goes to 150,000 damage from your end. So it ends up buffing the boss's damage more than it outweighs for your defensive priority. I'm gonna skip past this part. Pecan, I've already seen him. I like where he puts Pecan. I don't mind his Pecan placements. I think Pecan is in a good spot in Battle Hardened Formidable Foes and the red zones. Obviously, you don't run him in festival battles. Tech Janemba is okay. My main issues here. Let's skip to where he places them. Tech Janemba, no. This is Battle Hard from no. Absolutely not. I'll explain why. This unit, you want him to slot 1 on his team or his team. The issue is, if there are too many attacks, here, I'll pull it up right now. If there are too many attacks in slot 1, he cannot slot 1. This guy, he attacks 17 times. 17 times. That is insane. He attacks 17 times, and his normals are going to be doing, what is that? 1,500 or 1.5 million. 1.5 million. That's not even that much, but you need him to slot 1 earlier on, and Hit is going to be doing a lot of damage and stunning this guy. So sure, he will get through the first phases, fine, because you're just going to stun lock them. But even then, if you have to put him in slot 1, he's still attacking 13 times. He could lose just all of his DR. You transform, he just becomes kind of dodge or die. Yeah, I think he can live the super. But like post super, he's fine. This guy is a slot 2 or slot 3, is fine. Genuinely, like in slot 2 or 3, this guy's fine. I don't really have very many issues with him. But like you want him to slot 1 on all of his teams because all of his teams have no slot 1s. But then if there's too much pressure in slot 1, he can't slot 1. Does he even debuff? Hold on. I can't even remember if he debuffs. Movie bosses. And then we have Technumba right there. Does he debuff? He's not debuffing. Does he debuff here? No, no debuffing. He doesn't even debuff here. Why is he in Z's here? By the way, why? He's here. This guy is a better slot 1 than him. In terms of consistency, he is a better slot 1. Because for one, on turn 1, if you really need to, this guy, sure, I guess I could see the argument for turn 1, this guy's going to be better because of the fact that he'll just probably be able to consistently tank better. But like, neither of these units are debuffing, and post-revive, he's way better defensively. And he's dodge or die in slot 1. But this guy can actually like live everything in slot 1 once he's built up and uses his active. And it's not like his team goes that fast. If I'm going to be honest, I think he's probably barely below AGL Cell in Battle Hardened from Wolfros. I'm not going to sit here and say I think he's trash, because he's definitely not trash. Being able to slot 1 and as consistent as he is, he's very strong. One issue I also have with this unit is Rainbow Orbs. I'm not going to sit here and say like they're hard to come by, but when you show up to a phase, like, and you have to throw this guy in slot 1, this is not consistent. One Rainbow Orb always being available has not been consistent for me, considering he does not make Rainbow Orbs. And 3 Key Spheres is fine, but his support is really only doing anything on uncontrollable power, and the team is kind of okay, and this isn't doing that much. Like, he doesn't need the super attack. He really does not need the super attack. Like, this is okay, but his support is kind of worthless. Like, even if you get this, he's not benefiting that much. This is obviously, like, you're getting this 80% of the time, but the 20% of the time that you don't, he cannot take a hit. And then the difference between him and Cell in that regard is Cell, 80% of the time he can slot 1, 100% of the time he can slot 1 because he has his revive no matter what. And then, I don't know, he's not debuffing, he's not providing anything. He has one good super attack that's not even that good. Like, he has one good super attack that does less damage. He does less damage overall than Blue Kaioken. And this guy has a revive. If you're getting him transformed in this event, then you're also getting this guy out. You're getting them out at around the same time. Like, seriously. And if hit stuns, you're not even going to transform this guy, and then you're going to show up to a fight that attacks 17 times, and he just gets obliterated by the freaking normal attacks. Look, 15 attacks, 17 attacks. You want to tell me that he's going to slot 1 when after receiving, let's see, he needs to get hit 10 times. You get hit 6 times, this DR is gone. And if you don't have this DR, he's already shit as a slot 1. You get hit 6 times, he becomes fodder. I would say if he gets hit 4 times, he becomes fodder. Like, I'm not even going to, like, try and, like, sugarcoat it. This guy is going to be fodder if there are too many attacks coming his way. He cannot handle the pressure thrown on him. 12 attacks, 15 attacks, 10 attacks, 15 attacks, 10 attacks. 30. This is even longer. This is 3 phases. 10 attacks, 13 attacks, 15 attacks. And keep in mind, this guy has one team, the same team as him, and this guy's actually supporting, he's actually consistent, and he's doing more damage than this guy. Somehow. He's overall doing more damage than this guy consistently, in terms of stats and how much he's critting. But he's in Z tier because of... I mean, listen.
I actually would also say, so...
This is fair. I get pecan.
Janemba's just invincible in Battle Hardened Battles, I feel.
Bruh.
Like, Dokkan has the debuffs, turn 4. What's his... No, it's... Nah. This is...
Bro.
His turn 4 entrance, and he will still hurt you. Whereas Pycon is just turn from start of battle.
That's barely a difference. You want to float Blue Kaioken off anyways.
Versus active.
And you can set up the rotations. So.
That's conditional super, active skill.
When people talk about skill check or like skill issue, this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
This is like what people are talking about.
The red zone. Red zone is the biggest consideration here.
Really? See, personally, it might just be me, but I consider the turn 3 to 4 boss that's hitting as hard as this guy on turn like 9 or 10 to be harder. And this guy crits. He can actually, like, a 20% chance to crit, sure. That's not very high. But if he crits, he can actually, like, destroy some units. Like, Beast will take 450k. He'll still live, but that's a lot of damage. Right? And then if the next turn goes kind of poorly, same thing. You just die. Right? Early crit, this guy has late crit. Or this guy has late crit, so it doesn't really matter. Selmax, on his first turn, is doing the same damage as this guy, but it could be an AoE, or it could be... Yeah, right. It could be an AoE, or it could be a super that, like, legit just does more. This is doing 5.2 million already. And then pure 25% buffs, like... Yeah. This is doing more damage. Like, why is the red zone the highest consideration? Okay, wait. My dad's calling me. I will be right back. Hey, Patrick. Yes, the drink. Alright. Love you. Bye. Okay, I'm back. But I guess my one thing I don't understand is, like, I saw Rhodey say it, but, like, he said like something like 60% red zones, 25% battle hardened formidable foes, and then 15% festival battles. I would honestly, like, completely reverse those numbers. Like 60% battle hardened formidable foes, 25% red zones, and then 15% festival battles. Honestly, I don't even really consider festival battles. I think that festival battles should just be its completely own thing, because look at Minato's tier list. It literally has 6 units on this tier list. There are 6 units listed here. Why is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 units, and only 2 of these are really going to be getting you to, like, catch W's consistently. 6 of them. Like, I can't put this in an overall tier list and go crazy saying, like, oh my gosh, like, this character's peak. Like, this character's incredible. Like, or, like, this character has a huge advantage. Like, sure, I understand it, but it's such a niche version of content that it's so hard for me to, like, prioritize it. I'd say, like, if anything, it's like 5%. I'd rather look at how a unit performs in the red zones, because that's way more realistic than how I look at a unit in here. Because the only units I'm really even going to, like, think about or, like, consider in my head is Kid Goku and Hit, and they're already going to be better in the red zones anyways. So, to be honest, I genuinely, like, don't care about Festival of Battles. I'd rather just make my own tier list like this, like, make my own tier list considering Festival or Battle Hardened Formidable Foes and the red zones, and then just have a second tier list for Festival of Battles. That's me personally. If somebody else wants to do it differently, that's perfectly fine. I understand. It makes it way easier. But I'd rather do it this way. Or I'd rather do it the way I just stated.
Those two. I'm gonna say S tier Cell.
Why is he at 4? I think he moves down to 10. Why is he lower than him? He's doing more damage. He's better defensively. He's way better in the red zones, which he said he's mostly considering the red zones. Like, way better. Way better. Way better teams. DR support. Are we really going to say that the unit who has an Usher, when every single unit on his team is already stacked to Oblivion, is better than the unit who is already taking better than he is, and giving DR support, and doing more damage, and giving crit and stat support, and has all in the family, like a better link set overall? No, no way. He should at minimum be above these two, in my opinion. He should be at 5. Based upon how this is looking, he should be at 5. He should be at 5, in my opinion. I view this unit very highly, but I think that under Int Boo is incredibly underrated.
I think I might keep Tech Cell above him still.
I disagree, only because of the fact that against Selmax and Battle Hardened Formidable Foes, this guy gets railed. And he can take, in the red zones, I guess I can understand it. Because this guy is debuffing, and he can slot one. No, I understand it. Him at number 3, or him above SRSL, I understand.
I'm gonna put him,
I can let that slide.
him above GT Vegeta, is what I'm thinking for this.
I don't think GT Vegeta should make the list.
I have GT Vegeta Cell, like, they're rough.
He's not bad, but, like, He's not better offensively than most of these units, and he's very rarely better. Like, he's not very consistent defensively, in the sense of, like, you're going to be making him look better defensively than even units like Blue Kaioken or other units. Any support this guy has, he has. And he's doing 2 times the damage. And he has a revive. This guy doesn't even support or debuff.
Around the same area. I mean, is GG Vegeta...
Who?
I think this would be better. Because GG Vegeta...
Why? Why is he there? Honestly, out of everything, his placement and his placement are actually the 2 things pissing me off the most.
Doesn't really do any debuffs or anything. I could maybe have Wuhan higher.
He's overrating the attack debuffs a little bit. When units are super attack raising on every super attack they do, debuffs aren't as strong when you're only debuffing like once or twice.
Pretty well for me. I do think I actually like Texel a bit better still. I think overall, especially with this gap here, yeah. Bastier Cell's up there for sure. We'll do this.
See, I really liked Goku and Gohan on, like, originally, but this unit is literally just a tank. Like, this is literally just a unit you throw in slot 3 and, like, they won't take that much damage. AGL Cell does the exact same freaking thing with more damage. And the ability to slot 1 better with his guard. Like, point blank. The 3 turns that this unit has all that DR is the same 3 turns that this unit has guard, and he's doing more damage in those 3 turns. This unit is not going to, like, I guess on that 3rd turn, sure, like, on that 3rd turn, this unit is actually, like, the best TOR defensively. But that like, never happens. It rarely happens. So I'm not, like, gonna sit here and act like I think that's some super consistent thing. Like, that rarely happens. It happens less often than you get Blue Kaioken out, the standby out, in Battle Hard from Mortal Foes. And I get that out, like, pretty frequently, actually. I can't even compare them to the 2.
Yeah, I think hit better than Kid Go. To me, it just...
I can't agree. He did hit really high in Battle Hardened from Mortal Foes, which I disagree with. But I do not agree that hit is better. Honestly, I would say Kid Goku is honestly in a tier of his own.
Feels like see this in Battle Harder Foes.
Okay. At least acknowledge
you
it.
could potentially see it, but I don't know.
No, you do not see it. You do not see it. Getting this guy to transform in Battle Hardened from Mortal Foes is like almost impossible.
It's that Ghost Usher is really what gets it for me. The Kid Goku probably does more damage, and he's stronger slot 1, but...
I think the Usher mechanic, as a mechanic, if this guy had the Usher more consistently, he's won. Easily number 1. But because in the most important content that you want his Usher in, you can never have it, and Kid Goku is just so much better in that event. Kid Goku is just better to me. And Kid Goku is going to be way better in Festival of Battles because of the fact that he actually has partners, and he actually has a team, and he can actually slot 1 more consistently. Like, the Twitter clips you see of hits, and you see these, like, crazy, like, ridiculously high turns, that only happens when you run double hit and you leave the other hit untransformed, and he's very susceptible to taking a lot of damage, and his damage will not be that high. That is just the honest truth. Kid Goku will be more consistently stronger than Hit is in everything. And he has better teams, a better link set, and he's providing more. That's all I gotta say. Maybe not providing more, but he's just overall better statistically and team-wise and link-wise. I can't put him over Hit. Or I can't put him under Hit.
I think Pygon and Janemba seem very similar in terms of...
I disagree. I think Janemba is quite significantly worse than Pecan. But I'd say as soon as Uncontrollable Power has a ridiculously good comeback, this guy is better. But as of now in the current meta, I don't see it.
What they're able to do performance-wise, I think this is Red Zone, huh? Honestly, what if I say this? I kind of like these two over the... and Red Zone. I think maybe under because the dodge disable. Be a little annoying. But then I like them better here. I'm gonna say generally I like them better than the other duo. Yeah, I like him better than GT Vegeta. So we're gonna do this. I think the GT Vegeta, he's not doing anything special in any of these fights. Like, he's just a tanky character. Like,
Yeah, like that's kind of the other thing is like this guy is literally just a tank. Literally, that's all he is. This guy is tanking everything. Like, sure, okay, this guy is a better tank than him. I will say that outright. This unit is a better tank than he is. But everything that this guy is taking is the exact same as this guy, and he lives everything perfectly fine. So sure, in the future, he will be better. He will age better because of his defenses. But because these guys are not going to be dying from anything right now, and this guy is doing more damage, and he actually has a revive, and he actually has better teams, and he's more flexible, this guy can actually has the potential to slot 1. Like, not on his active turn. Like, if you need a crutch slot 1, this guy can slot 1. This guy cannot, unless you have his active skill. But that's not even until later of the fight, and you have your rotation set up perfectly. Like, I can't. I actually cannot comprehend why this unit is right here. I cannot get it in my brain why. I can't. It is impossible for me.
He's Rainbow Orb changing too. That's super massive.
Okay, you know what? The Rainbow Orb changing is fair. But is that really as good as Revive and doing less damage overall? And having less teams overall? I can't consider that the same.
These guys' performance outdo what GT Vegeta is doing.
Absolutely. Like, by a gap. By a very significant gap.
Transform Janemba.
Very significant gap.
This icon has Ghost Usher.
But the thing is, in red zones, this guy is way worse than them. Like, he's worse than the 3 units below him. Because the fights that you want this guy to work in... So if you want this guy to do damage, transformed, he needs to be in slot 1. But he needs to dodge to get his crit. Guess what nullifies dodge? The red zones. So he will never be doing very much damage. Never. And he won't be tanking very well. And I'm pretty sure he loses support. I'm not going to check. I'm pretty sure he loses support. If not, it doesn't really matter. Like, I still think he's lower than these 3 in the red zones. Just because he has one team, and that one team is kind of mid in the red zones, and even then, the main parts of his kit are restricted completely because of that. I don't know. I can't see him. I cannot see him. I honestly can't even see him in the top 10 T-Wars. Genuinely.
But I think GT Vegeta's providing more overall. Is he though? Because Fat Boo, Battle Hardened Foes is so good. He's actually so absurdly good.
I do think he is very good.
And in the red zones, dude, he's also just so good with these red zones, actually. The only reason I don't have him this high, I think is because, I don't know. I mean, realistically, you could put him this tier. But I don't think so. I think his general performance, like his numbers and things like that, like...
They're too low.
He's more going to be stalemating in red zone.
No, he's underperforming statistically in the red zone. He is worse than every unit here statistically in the red zone except for him after a certain point. And him, obviously. Like, I'm trying to think... Oh, and him. I'm just trying to think of units that... Int Janemba... I guess the Brats. Super Saiyan 3 Vegeta and AGL Super Saiyan 3 Goku are the only units who are going to be... and Daima Goku are the only units who are going to be underselling this unit defensively. Overall. And his offense is better than, like, nobody here. He doesn't even have better offense than this guy. But he has the Usher. He has the Usher, guys. He has the Usher. Would you rather have this guy on every team that you run this guy? You're just gonna run this guy instead, except for Battle Hard for Formidable Foes. You're just gonna run this guy instead. Like honestly, in the red zones, I'd have him in like B tier. Genuinely, I don't know what this guy's doing in the red zones that like warrants like an S tier ranking. I'd rather run Buhan over him, genuinely. I'd run Blue Kaioken over him 100 times over 100 times.
I mean, you could switch a lot of these characters around. Doesn't really matter, but just a general top, like, whatever.
Okay, that's the end of the video. I'm gonna go to where he ranked Blue Kaioken.
Or your own HP. This can be used from 4 turns in. If it doesn't even gain anything, I'm not gonna.
So this is in the red zones? Yeah. He ends up moving him all the way up here. And then he puts him right here. The biggest... I'm going to pull up his kit very quickly. Cards. Kaioken. He brings up a lot of his issues with the overall design of the character, but everything he said statistically, everything he said statistically wise, he is better than every unit in the tier he is in offensively and defensively. This is a fact. He is better than all of them offensively and defensively, and same for this tier. The only unit who is better offensively than him in this row is Super Saiyan 2 Goku, if he gets all the supers, but that's very inconsistent. Honestly, you're rarely even going to transform this guy unless you have a unit like Blue Kaioken getting his HP low, but that's besides the point. He moves STR Cell up, I don't really care. Like, in my opinion, by his standards, the absolute lowest I could see Blue Kaioken being is under Path to Power right here. But in my opinion, in the red zones, I think Path to Power is like up here. Genuinely. Like, if I think in the red zones, he as an individual is top of S tier. But his team and how his team actually handles the content, and the fact that he does have this restriction, which is what most of the damage on his team comes from him. But the thing is, a lot of the units you want to run with him on his team simply are too reliant on dodge that you cannot get through this in time. I'd say by the end of the celebration, every point I just made with this guy can be completely irrelevant. And then he was talking about like how he feels the need in the red zone that you have to use the revive like around this area of the fight. But that is simply untrue. Statistically, here, let me pull up. I'm going to take a quick pause, and then I'm going to pull out some calculations. Okay, I pulled up to the tweet. Right? This is very hard to see. Okay, fortunately, yeah, right here. When HP is, with intro, without support or intro. Dang, I wish he had the stats, because without support or intro, he can do more supers than this. I don't know why he doesn't have more. But either way, he has the guaranteed additional super here. And this is no support, no intro, anything. And oftentimes you are going to have some form of a support, on your rotation. So this is still going to be higher, right? After he supers 2 times, which is guaranteed, he's going to be at about like 1.5 million defense. That is living... I went to the wrong page. That is living these normals. Guaranteed. He is guaranteed to live these normals. No matter what happens here, he is going to live these normals. Even if Kefla supers, he's going to live the normals no matter what. And then if you triple super, this unit is going to be taking the super for like 300k. And then in the absolute worst case scenario, you're taking 700k defense or 700k damage, which honestly I think is very rarely going to happen. You blow through these first 3 phases on his team. Like, you blow through these first 3 phases. Like, you're past these phases by like turn 5. He can also just dodge this shit. Like, he can also just dodge this. He's still gonna take like 600k. But people are gonna be like, oh, but he lowers your HP. Oh, but he lowers your HP. But you have 900k HP on this team. I'm talking like Rainbow. If you're gonna if Your performance varies at 55%, 69%. I totally understand. I understand like why you might not like this unit as much as I do, or the other people that use him at Rainbow Link level 10. I totally get it. I don't think he's very good without dupes. I ain't gonna pretend here into that. But at Rainbow, 100% his entire team, which most of his team are older ETAs, like half his team, they all have really high HP. He's at about 900k defense, or 900k HP. Even if he takes 700k and he super attacks 2 times the absolute minimum, you're still gonna have about 750k HP left. So like, you're living this super no matter what. Kato Pesla, sure. Oh wait, Kato Pesla, yes, but like I said, you're blowing through these phases actually even faster. And he has, I guess his chance of super range that one isn't very high. Yeah. Oh, he can be attack debuffed? Oh, just kidding. Okay, he can be attack debuffed. This is going to be a lot easier. Because what you can do is you can put like a unit like Intivo or AGL UI in slot 1. And then you can put Go Frieza in slot 2. And then switch to Frieza. And then this unit will just debuff him. Every time. And then Blue Kaioken can't even lose. Just do that every single time. You float off Blue Kaioken. He shows up to this phase in slot 1. You have his standby. And then you standby. And then you have your revive. You want to use your revive in this phase. It is best for this phase. And you don't need to use a standby for these first 3 phases of the red zone. So, to me, it's kind of a null point. There is no reason or any complaint about his standby and needing to use the revive in this, because he's going to be perfectly fine until the point you want to use the revive anyways. Like, you just want to blow through this phase and this phase because they're the hardest phases. These phases are the hardest phase of the entire fight. He hits harder than the final phase if you let him build up. If you kill him before he builds up, it doesn't matter. If you kill him and you make it so he literally cannot kill you in the first turn or 2, then like, it's irrelevant. This is simply the case. It is irrelevant. And I understand the issues with the HP thing. He brings this up in Battle Hardened Formidable Foes, where he says he thinks he does not do anything. He does, because he has the standby, which a lot of people are going to say, oh, it activates on turn 4, but every other team projector mechanic you're using activates on turn 3 or on turn 4. If you're getting Kid Boot or Boo's Revive and Taunts, and Usher, it's going to be around turn 3 to turn 4. And a lot of people are going to say, well, oh, this isn't very consistent. If you play your cards right, it's pretty easy to just get this guy onto the starting rotation of the next Battle Hardened Formidable Foes phase, and then you float him off turn 1, he shows up turn 4, and you obliterate everything. And even if you don't do that, this is a super underrated thing I don't think I've seen anybody bring up. In Battle Hardened Formidable Foes, you're always going to be under the HP threshold for AGL MUI's Revive. Every time. His best slot 1 partner, you're going to have 3 turns of guaranteed survivability, because AGL MUI's Revive is always going to be up, and then he's going to at least have 2 turns of guaranteed dodge, or he's going to have his revive turn. Right? And if you get, let's just say the other Blue Kaioken is on the other rotation, and on turn, so let's just say turn 1, turn 2, you show up turn 3, AGL MUI revives, the other Blue Kaioken, which is on turn 2, is now on turn 4, he gets double revive buffs. So now he's super attacking 5 times, and he's going to be having like 4.5 million defense, if not higher. This guy's going to be pretty much double digit, taking everything thrown his way. And that is something that you can very consistently see, because if AGL MUI doesn't dodge in slot 1, and he just gets it 1 time, you get this revive, and then he just becomes God. This guy cannot die. 7% chance to dodge, additional super attack, more dodge, more crit, doubling his defense, like almost doubling his defense, honestly. Like at least a 45% increase or 50% increase in his defense, like overall. Right, like this is very, very strong. He's just with his normal revive, he's already at 3 million defense guaranteed every time. Every single time. Or he'll be at 2.5 million defense. But then if you get the revive early, let's just say theoretically you're under this HP threshold, or under this HP threshold, you're at 2.35 million defense. You get this, you get the revive buff with the intro buff. He's here. He's here. Every time, if not higher. So I don't know. I cannot see. The only reason I can see him being like kind of lower than like up at like the top of S tier is the fact that his team, like representatives of Universe 7, is not very good in the red zone. That is it. That is the only reason why he should be this low for Battle Hardened Formidable Foes. The only reason why. And then if we go to, yeah,
I mean, he has nothing.
this is BS. I literally just said this. He's doing crazy damage. He's doing ridiculously well in Battle Hardened Formidable Foes. He has to stand by relatively consistently, and that's just a free revive. This is a free turn of safety, and he's doing a. He can pretty much one turn sell max, because his standby consistently at Rainbow is going to be doing about 75 million guaranteed crit to the boss, and then his super attacks are going to be doing about 35 million to 50 million total to him, and that's pretty much his entire HP. And then you factor in the fact that AGLMUI is also going to do the damage. He's just dead every time. You're killing every single time with this character. That is literally just a fact. Like, there is no reason he should be this low. I do not see it. And with Hit, I agree with he is very good in red zones. I agree he's very good in festival battles. He put him in Z tier for Battle Hardened Formidable Foes. I do not agree. I will show screenshots and I will show statistical proof comparing the actual math. This character cannot live any of the normal attacks in Battle Hardened Formidable Foes of the second stage. And you're going to say, oh, well, he attacked debuffs. Oh, he interrupts a single attack. If he gets hit one time, he dies. Even with this, because you want to know what this is doing? Attacked enemies, attack and defense, minus 30%. And that's only if he triple supers. That's only if he triple supers, by the way. If he doesn't triple super, lost cause. He's guaranteed going to die if he gets hit. 30% buff. He's already hitting 1.2 million. His super attack is already hitting for 3.6 million. And Hit is going to fully build him up. This is a 1.6 buff, right? This is pretty much going to get him to 2 million attack on his normals, just because Hit is hitting him. And the slot 1 is obviously going to hit him. And then he only does unarmed super attacks. So a complete 1.6 buff, and then you're only removing this. And he was already hitting hard enough to almost one-shot you anyways. And then you factor in this. Hit cannot live this. Same situation here. Exact same situation here. Except he's going to be hitting slightly less hard. Slightly less hard. Because he builds up with each turn passed. But even then, it's not like he's changing very much. It's not like a whole lot is going to change. Like at all. This guy's still going to destroy him if he lands a normal on him. And if you're running SCRSL, which you probably are, he's almost core on his team. He's giving him a 15% pure buff. Same for this guy. And I already talked about it earlier, but the pure buffs from domains do more for the boss than they do for you. Cell max, it doesn't apply to him, but these normals, turn 1, if he doesn't, sure, the first phases are fine. The first phases, he's fine. He's perfectly fine against the first phases. He's stunning, he's doing everything you want for the first phase. He's incredible for the first phases. But then you get to the second phases, and he's actually just wet noodle. He's not even doing that much damage either. He's not doing that much damage in return for the fact that he is a walking liability. Every single chance he has, every chance he can get hit is a chance he will just eradicate your run. I have had some very good runs going, and I just got one-shotted. See here, look, 50%. He's not even fully removing the debuff. He's not even fully removing the debuff here. He's not. Infused fighters, at least it's not very common. But like with each turn pass, this is the second phase. This is the second phase. The second phase would be killing him. And then you get to the third phase. Here, you'd be transformed. You would be transformed at this point. At this point, you'd be transformed and you're fine. At that point, you're fine. Turn 6, probably 2, right? In this event specifically, Hit is strong. I can totally see in this event specifically, Hit is strong. But then you get to these two phases, and I can't even agree. Attack plus 50% when HP 30% less. And then this phase also has that, so he's just going to be making him hit for 1 million as well. Let's check his hit calcs. Hit. Barely. Best case scenario, the most likely case scenario is he's at 1.2 million defense. And if he misses that, he's at 1 million defense. That's not okay. I guess if he dodges an attack, he'll be okay. if he dodges an attack, he will be okay. But if he does not dodge an attack, if the first hit he receives, which is the most common time he will receive an attack is before he dodges, because he builds up dodge. If he receives an attack, he will get screwed over. And if he does not triple super, he will eradicate. Even if he gets this, even if he gets here, and he gets all of the supers that you want, he's still going to take 600k damage from STR Gamma 1. Because STR Gamma 1 also has the 1.5 or 1.15 class multiplier because he's super and it is extreme. So actually, this being 2 million is going to be even higher. It's going to be like 2.3 million. I cannot have a unit whose main utility, which is his Usher, his main utility, which is, like I just said, his Usher, is never going to come out because this condition isn't bad. But turn 6, right? The actual condition of the Usher is not bad. It's the fact that you have to transform him. You have to perform 6 attacks, but that's not possible until turn 5 or till you can't, at worst you can't transform until turn 5. But you're probably going to be filling this guy because he has no partners in slot 2, and he's going to be cucking all the other units that are in slot 1 in terms of links. And after this character evades 3 or more attacks, do you want to know what this guy does to the first phase? He stuns it. So he doubles, or he could triple, or he could quad super. Incredible. He just stacked defense 4 times. He's in a great spot. You want to know what he also does? He stuns the boss, and now he can't transform. And then he's still in range to just explode. 6 SA effects, and after 3 dodges, he's at 2.2 million defense start of turn. With no dodge, look. His start of turn defense wouldn't even be this close. Wow. His start of turn defense, or his post super defense, after 3 dodges, would probably be he'd probably cap around 2.25 million with no dodges, or 1.9 million with no dodges, and that's still 300k from the normals. That's insane. But he's in Z tier apparently. I don't know. There's so many holes to this tier list that I feel like I keep finding things that like don't make sense to me.
He also stuns.
Stunning is great, but it's conflicting with his kit because you want him to transform. I would honestly, I would so much rather if he only stunned, transformed, and not in base. I actually think that if he did not stun in base, I would like him more because you're actually getting the most important part of his kit, which is his Usher. You could consistently get his Usher. And honestly, I would say remove this part too. Because like I said, you want him to dodge 3 times. You want these 3 dodges. But then you remove an attack. On top of the fact that he might not dodge already. You remove an attack, and you want him to dodge 3 times. And this guy's going to be in slot 3. Or slot 2. Either one. You remove an attack if you get a good situation. And then you cannot transform him. I think the only changes I would make to his base, give him guard turn 1. Give him guard turn 1. That's it. Give him guard turn 1. Or with his intro. Honestly, give him guard with his intro, I guess. He doesn't need it. He doesn't really need guard. Remove the stunning from his base, and then remove this line from his base. Remove this line from his base. I know it might seem like, oh, that's a downgrade. Overall, that's a downgrade, I guess, for his aging. But in terms of the current meta, I would honestly remove it, or like it, if they legit remove parts of his kit. It feels like he's doing too much for the conditions that they gave him. He is doing too much for the conditions that they gave him, but then he's not doing enough. He is not doing enough for the harder part of the fight, where he cannot have his conditions up. He prevents himself from getting his conditions, but then in turn, he gets ruined because of it. Even though what he's providing is good, it's kind of like it's literally like a double-edged sword, like legit a double-edged sword. You do something good early to get screwed over later. Literally.
Like, he does everything in that fight, in those fights.
He just doesn't. He does, in practice, he does everything. But then we look at the actual stats of this character. We look at the actual stats. He's not doing a lot of damage. He's not doing. He doesn't have the craziest defense. Right, like he really, to me, he really just feels like a utility sponge. He feels like a utility sponge, but his Usher is too restricted for the content that you would really want it on. For the short content that you want his Usher, you cannot use it. And he's doing everything in practice that you want him to do, but his stats are not high enough to make up for it. That is my genuine opinion. I think he is easily better than Blue Kaioken. I ain't gonna sit here and say I think Hit is worse than Blue Kaioken. But him being this low, when he is actually more consistent and dying less in battle hard and formidable foes, and he also has a revive more consistently than he has his Usher, how is he in B tier? When he also has more teams. How is he in B tier when he's better statistically, he dies less, he has better teams, and his most important utility you have more often in B tier when this guy is in Z tier, when he is very susceptible to death if he does not dodge, when this guy is not. I understand the HP loss. If you want to put him lower, I personally don't agree, but if you want to put Blue Kaioken lower and like put him in like towards like the top of S tier, and then put Hit at the top of S tier, I can't see him in Z tier. I cannot see Hit in Z tier. I can see him in S tier towards the very top, and I can see him above Blue Kaioken. Sure, maybe once he gets a team and he gets better slot ones, absolutely, absolutely. He kind of has the Glorio problem where he has no teams. That's it. That's all I have to say. This is an hour and 20-minute long video. I'm gonna probably that's how long the recording is. It's probably only gonna be about an hour long. But I'll probably upload. I hope I can upload something tomorrow. And if I do upload something tomorrow, it is more than likely going to be a Blue Kaioken gauntlet because there's too much downplaying of him going around. There is too much downplaying of him going around statistically that people are looking too linearly at his just how much damage he does on his first super attack and not the overall damage scheme of what he does. And his lows are still good for the current, like his overall lows are still doing more damage than most of the units on this tier list. His overall lows are still doing more damage than most of the units on this tier list. And offensively, at his peaks, at his peaks, like in terms of like Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken in slot 3, or like you just have his like support up because of an extreme class enemy, and then like in the red zones you have Tekuai's domain. He's doing more damage than every unit here. He is doing more damage than every unit. Let me think about this. He's doing more damage than him. Kid Goku might do more. I'm not sure. He might do more. I don't think he does. Tech Cell maybe, but he's gonna need the triple super and he's gonna need way more orbs, which is less consistent than what he's doing. In terms of standby, he just needs allies to hit an insane peak, and even then without allies, he's still gonna be doing similar damage to him. I'm thinking about this from like the red zone perspective. I'm just looking at units. Obviously not. No crit, so no. And even if you run a crit build, he has guaranteed crit and higher stats overall, especially with his counter. No, maybe, but he doesn't have any 220%. Definitely not. No, like he's doing more damage than almost all of the units here. I don't know. Alright, I gotta shut up. I hope you all have an incredible night. I'm sorry for letting into probably a few people and Minato. I do not hate you. I do not think you're stupid if you somehow get to this point of the video and you actually decide to take the time to watch it. I greatly appreciate it. I love every single one of you guys. Even if I don't agree with your opinions, I still love you all, and I hope you all have an incredibly blessed day. I hope you all have a wonderful life, and I hope you pull whatever units you want to pull, and I hope that whatever you do is successful. I love every one of you, even if I act like an idiot sometimes, and I get mad, and I rant for an hour long, on a stupid YouTube tier list, even though it's not that serious. I do love you all, and I am so grateful for every single one of you that I talk to in the community. Have a wonderful night, and I will see you all very, very soon.